What is going on, Pokemon community? It is Achilles08 here, and today I am very excited to share with you the opening of one of my first Pokemon experiences, the Blackout theme deck. This came out in 1999, and this was actually the deck, not the physical deck as in this particular box, but the Blackout deck was the deck that I bought with my allowance when I was a kid, when I was first getting into the Pokemon TCG. So I'm very excited. This is absolutely nostalgia meltdown for me. I just want to cover a couple things on the box here. We got the official Nintendo seal. I'm not going to read this whole thing here, but some of the verbiage here is really, really neat. Very old school. So we have Pokemon, more Pokemon power, and the Pokemon trading card game. Just like in the best-selling Pokemon Game Boy game, only those who train hard will become great Pokemon masters. You don't say. Leave your rivals in the dark as you destroy their energy with the fighting and water Pokemon in this Blackout deck. So in this deck, you'll find 60 cards, 1 Pokemon coin, 10 damage counters, and 1 rulebook, and there's a special holographic card in each deck. There are 4 themed decks at the time to collect, and the holographic card from this deck is Hitmonchan here. The person who sent this to me was very nice enough to put that into a hard case. So what's interesting about this particular set and this particular set of decks is that they're labeled as advanced on here. There's a starter level here, then you go to advanced, and then it finishes off here with expert. It kind of is curious to me because in most trading card games, Pokemon and otherwise, these decks tend to be referred to as starter decks because they are a great way to get new players into the game started with, I wouldn't say a tournament-ready deck, but certainly a informal, competitive-ready deck where they can play with their friends and possibly trade some cards and things like that. But the deck really has a fair amount of power and balance in these decks to where you get started in a pretty good way pretty quickly versus having to buy packs and try to build your own deck based on knowledge you don't have for the game. So these are very useful tools for people just getting started like I was back in the day. So to call this advanced, I think is a little much. It also makes me wonder what the expert level is and how I get in on that. So with all that out of the way, I am super excited to open this. So let's go. So first I'm going to take out the rule book here. This is actually in really good shape for being 20 years old. I'm really happy with that. So this is to my knowledge, this is the first set of rule books ever produced for the Pokemon TCG. So I'm very excited. A little piece of TCG history there. We also have the damage counter beads, which are very different than the ones that are used today. This one actually is still factory sealed, which is pretty cool. These are essentially just like Moncala beads that are used to count damage. Nothing really particular about these. I can see why they're still factory sealed because what, kid wants to open these bad boys up. It's easier just to count them on your own. And then we have this Chansey coin here, which has got a little bit of hollow foil in it. Pretty neat. And that's just got the Nintendo copyright and then the 1999 Wizards of the Coast copyright on the back. So nothing crazy there, just a heads or tails type of deal for flipping coins for damage, calculation, and paralysis and other kind of status conditions like that. So here we have the deck. And again, you've already seen Hitmonchan over here. I'll put the deck to the side just for now because I really am excited. Let's take a look at this rule book. I won't go through the whole thing. There's kind of some cool tidbits in here. So right off the bat, we're just totally hit with this really cool Electric Tail of Pikachu manga reference here. And then there's kind of like this little ad for Pokemon, the series, the animated series on VHS. It even says here, you got 3 episodes per tape, 35 minutes total, which is pretty hilarious to me just to kind of see an advertisement still in really good shape for a VHS. So if you don't know what a VHS is, you're really missing out. We also got some Ken Sugimori artwork as was standard for the time, but the chubby Pikachu always really throws me off a little bit, and it's really kind of interesting. It's a fun callback because over the years, Pikachu has considerably gotten kind of thinner and thinner as time has gone on, but used to be a little chubster back in the day. Got some cool Professor Oak artwork here and just some general what is Pokemon information. And of course, back in the day, this is when there was only 150 documented species of Pokemon. This is before Mew was revealed to the world and left by developers a glitch in the red, blue, and yellow games. We have some Venusaur artwork here. Wartortle is apparently holding Voltorb in this one here. Moving on a little farther, hey, base set Charizard, pretty cool. And it looks to be first edition and shadowless. Man, we're going to get my hands on something like that. The neat thing about the center of this book is that this is actually essentially a survey that is going to be sent to Wizards of the Coast to kind of let you know, or let them know rather, what you like about the game, what you don't like about the game, if you play Magic the Gathering or Star Wars TCG. So it's just kind of a cool little snippet where they're trying to kind of capture, this is before the internet was an incredibly popular thing that everybody had, so this is kind of your way of filling out a survey to kind of let Wizards of the Coast know how you felt about the Pokemon TCG. So who knows how many of these things may have kind of changed how the TCG was handled and received back then. So pretty cool little piece of Pokemon history there. Stop reading now. Okay, I will. Moving on to the deck. We're going to start off with some energy removal cards. Looks like we have 4 of those, which is really unique because to my understanding, most of the deck limitations today limit you to 3 cards of any one type. So to see a deck constructed with 4 of a single type is pretty interesting and certainly unique to that point in time. We've got a Gust of Wind with the wheel, who is apparently missing an eye and having a horrible day. I've never understood the artwork for that card. Professor Oak, neat card. Plus Power, Super Energy Removal, Machop. Now we're going to see several of these. For those of you guys that don't know about the Pokemon trading card game and kind of how these decks are structured, it's incredibly important. You cannot evolve Pokemon by just drawing the cards. If I drew a Machamp, I can't just put it out right away. I have to have a Machop first, then a Machoke card, then a Machamp card. So having multiples of each stage of evolution is really critical to summoning your stronger Pokemon. So no surprise here, we're going to see probably 3, maybe even 4 of these because, yep, there we go. There's our 4th one. Pretty extraordinary to see 4 cards in one deck, at least in my experience. We got some Machoke here. Help with the evolution on that end. No Machamp, as Hitmonchan is the powerhouse of this deck, but Farfetch'd. Another Farfetch'd, kind of neat old artwork there. Wartortle. Another Wartortle. We're probably going to see several Squirtle here as the basic form of the Pokemon. Got 3 and 4 on Squirtle. A Staryu card. 3 of those. Onyx. I know we're going to see several of those. I remember that from when I opened my first theme deck. The Pokemon trading card game, here's some Sandshrew here. The TCG was so new at the time that I remember opening this and seeing a bunch of the same card and kind of feeling bummed out. Like, man, I thought I was going to get some variety in here. And it looks like we've gotten to the energy cards. There's several water energy for those water Pokemon, and obviously several fighting type energy for Hitmonchan and others. So that's pretty basic there. So not a really whole lot more to show. I just thought it was really cool kind of opening up this 20-year-old kind of piece of Pokemon TCG history and really just Pokemon history in general. Again, it's one of the first decks to ever come out from Wizards of the Coast. And this definitely did put the power of Pokemon into a lot of young people's hands. So with that, just a pretty short video for you guys, unboxing a pretty cool piece I was excited to purchase. I don't do these kinds of things very often, but when I do, normally there's something special. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed the Blackout deck opening. I'm going to have some more content coming for you guys pretty soon here. So this is Achilles018 signing out. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's Pokemon content as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel so I can continue to make better quality content for Poke fans just like you. If you want to join the conversation, leave a comment down below. I do read them. That's all for me. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon with more Pokemon content.